Okay, so welcome to everyone into this Python AI workshop. Okay, so in this session, I'm just gonna cover that what exactly the Python is, why do we use the Python, what is the difference between the Python, machine learning, deep learning, Gen AI, Agentic AI, all these concepts we are going to understand from the basic level. And also, I will show you the some of the scenarios which are related to that. So here, if you see that what is AI, first of all, AI, as you know, it stands for artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is what? Where it has this some capability to take the decision, right? It has the capability to take the decision. So in the artificial intelligence, basically you are going to train the machine which are capable as per the human intelligence. Like for an example, if the some tasks are assigned to you, so you are much capable, right? You have a brain. By using your brain, you can take the right decision or to perform that task from end to end. So in the similar way, we are going to train the machine as per the human intelligence, so it can take the decision very easily. So into this artificial intelligence is what? First, you can see it says perceive. Perceive is what? See, hear, read the data from the word. Because whenever you have to automate something, right? If I ask you that you have to take the some decision, so how you will take the decision on that? First of all, you have to understand the requirement very carefully, right? You understand the requirement, you see the data. On the basis of that, you can make that task fruitful, right? And you can take the right action on that. So first is basically the perceive, where it says that here you are going to understand the data, you are going to hear the requirement. Correct. Second is the reason. Reason is what? Understand the patterns and make the decision. Because whenever you are going to train the machine, so train the machine is what? Just like a human brain. For an example, as you know that if you want to do the addition, so what you do, you use the plus sign and it gives you the summation of the values, right? So if you say wherever the plus will come, you will do the some addition. Example, if I say I given you one data, I said 2 plus 2, immediately you will say the result will be 4, because you see this plus sign. If I say 6 plus 2, immediately you will say the result will be 8, because here is what? Plus sign. So here you are reading the some kind of a pattern based data as well. Correct? You are reading this kind of a pattern that if the plus will come, it means there is a addition. If the minus will come, it is a subtraction. If this multiplication will come, this is related to multiplication. If this slash sign will come, it is basically for the division, right? So on the basis of this pattern, plus, minus, division, multiplications, you are going to tell me that what result it will generate. Same here, we are going to train our machine on the basis of the some pattern based data. So machine will be able to take the decision accordingly, right? Now here you can see this learn, improve from the experience and the data. See, whenever you are going to train the machine, and from the machine you are expecting that it should give you the perfect outcome of your query. So it will give you the perfect result only when you will train your machine on the best data set with the best experience, right? So the most of the features which you are going to give to your machine, on that you are going to train your machine, right? So that is what? That is basically the experience data you are training your machine on that. Because if you are not giving the best data, if you are not training your machine perfectly, you can never expect the desired outcome from the machine. It will not give you the perfect result because machine is going to work on that, on the data you have trained on it. Correct? So if you have trained your machine on the perfect data set, it is going to give you the perfect outcome. If you have not trained your machine on the perfect data set, it is not going to give you the accurate result. So to get the accurate result, your machine should be trained on the perfect data set and into the perfect manner. So basically, what exactly you do when you are going to train the machine? So you do the some sampling. You train the machine on the some samples of the data sets, right? So on the sample data set, you train your machine, and once you give that kind of a data set to your machine, it will understand and it will give you the outcome on the basis of that. Correct? Example, suppose, as I told you that 2 plus 2, right? As I told you that 2 plus 2. So you know that 2 plus 2 is a 4, right? 2 plus 2 is a 4. Example, if I just give you the some kind of a data which nobody has taught, right? Which nobody has taught to you. You have never heard about that. Will you be able to answer on that? No, right? You will be able to answer on that one only, which you have taught by your teacher in your life. If you have not learned this mathematics, that 2 plus 2, you will not be able to answer. Today, you are able to tell me, sir, 2 plus 2 is a 4. Why? Because you have taught into your career that 2 plus 2 is a 4. So you know the sum, addition, multiplications, and so on. So your brain is basically trained on that kind of a data. So as you see this plus sign, your brain is start performing. In your brain, in the backend, it runs, okay, it is a plus sign. It means this is a summation or the addition. In the similar way, the machine is going to perform. So machine also work as per the human brain on which it is trained. Okay. Act is what? Take actions, generate response. Okay. So this is what, once you train your machine on the data sets, and once you provide that kind of a data sets, machine is going to perform the actions on the provided data sets, and it will generate the response and it will deliver to you. Okay. So this is basically building the foundation of the AI, artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is what? Where you are going to see the data, you are going to tell to your machine, you are going to train your machine, and once that kind of a data you will provide to the machine, it will return that kind of a output. So which is what? Which is basically the one of the AI concepts for building the foundations, which we call it as a machine learning. Okay. At the end of this session, today itself, I'm just going to tell you what exactly the difference in Python, in machine learning, in deep learning, in Gen AI, in Agentic AI, everything I'm just going to tell you. Okay. So here, if you see this next slide, it says the AI family tree. This is basically the AI family tree. So if you see that in the artificial intelligence, we have this machine learning, we have the some expert system related things, we have the computer vision as well. Okay. So now let's talk about one by one. So if you see that this machine learning, deep learning, right? What is that? Machine learning is basically, we call it as a ML as well. Okay, we call it as a ML as well. So machine learning simply says, you train me on the historical data. Historical data is what? You train me on the past data set. You train me on the historical data set. And whenever you will give me that kind of a thing or that kind of a data, I will be able to give you answer very perfectly. In your 10th standard or 12th standard, you have seen, for example, you guys have seen that y equals to mx plus c, right? Which is what? Which is basically the formula of the slope, right? So y is what? You know that y is basically what? Dependent variable, x is independent variable, m is the slope, c is basically the coefficients, right? Or the constant. You know about this formula. Or in any of the formula, for an example, you guys have gone through this one, pi r square h. Have you gone through this formula? Right? In the mathematics, correct? So any of the formula, it's not about this formula. I'm just giving you an example. So you know the formula, right? You know the formula. So on the basis of the formula, if I will give you the any kind of a question, so you will be able to solve it or not? You will be able to solve it very easily. Yes or no? Correct? You will be able to solve it very easily. In the similar manner, in the similar manner, we train to machine on the historical data set. Historical data set is what? Historical data set is basically the past data set. Okay, the past data set. We train our machine on the historical data set, and now the new data, when I will provide to my machine, it will provide me the accurate result on the basis of my historical data on which I have trained my model. I have trained my machine. It will give me that kind of a result. Then we have this deep learning. Deep learning is what? It is basically we have where we teach the neural networks. Okay. So neural networks model we teach here. So neural networks are basically just like a human brain. If you see the image of the human brain, the way it is connected, that is what? It is connected with the neurals, right? So neurons, we call it as well. So neural networks is what? Neural networks is just like a human brain. You are going into the more deep learning concepts. Then we have this Gen AI, generative AI. Gen AI is what? Creates a new content. So in the Gen AI, you have used the Chat GPT, you have used the Claude. That is what? That is basically the generative AI models. You write some query, it generates the text, it generates the audio, it generates the image, and you get the result on the basis of the question you have asked for. So how you are getting that one? Because they have trained their model in that manner, you are getting that accurate result. Nowadays, if you ask any question from this Chat GPT, or if you ask any question from the Claude, which is Anthropic, right? So if you ask any of the question, you are able to get the perfect answer. How you are able to get the perfect answer? Because your machine has been trained on that model. Your machine has been trained on that model. Which machine? That Claude, which is Anthropic, the developers, they have created that model in the backends. That if any of the user will ask this kind of a questions, then you have to revert into this kind of a manner, right? Same the Chat GPT. So these are what? These are basically the Gen AI models, generative AI. So it will generate in the form of what? In the form of the image, in the form of the text. They will give you the outcome. Okay. And whatever the models are working in behind, we call it as a LLM model, large language model. Large language models are what? If I talk about that large language model, which basically we call it as a LLM also. So LLM is what? It is a large language model, right? So these are the advanced deep learning system trained on a massive data sets that can understand, process, and generate human like text. Correct. So it is a large language model. I told you about this LLM, large language model. Large is what? Large means they are built with a billions of the parameters, allowing them to learn incredibly complex pattern in the language. So they are built in the billions of the parameters. Parameters are what? Like for an example, the Excel. In the Excel, if I talk about countif function, let's take a basic example I'm giving you. Countif is basically the two parameters, range and criteria. Yes or no? So it will accept only how many parameters? Two parameters. But in the large language model, it has created on the billions of the parameters. That's why if you write any kind of a prompt, it gives you the answer. It gives you the answer. It never say that only you have to write the hi, only the hi will accept. No, either you write hi, you write the hello, you write the good morning, you write in the Hindi, you write in the English, you write in your own prompt, it gives you the result because it has trained on the billions of the parameters. It trains on the billions of the parameters, right? That's why you are able to get the accurate result. So that is what LLM, large language model. Large is basically, it is built on the billions of the parameters, right? Language is what? They are designed specifically to process natural human language, grammar and context rather than just a numerical data. So if you have seen, either you write in the English, you write in the Hindi, you write in the Marathi, you write in the Telugu, Tamil, in any of the language, it is going to give you the answer. It is not going to tell you that please write your prompt only in the English or only in the Hindi. No, in any of the language you can write it. So it is what? Large. Large is basically the billions of the parameters. Billions of the parameters. Language is what? It will understand the language like the human. If you will write in the Hindi, it will respond in the Hindi. If you will write in the English, it will respond in the English. Right? The way the language you will type your prompt, in the same manner, in the same language, it is going to respond you. Model is what? If you see model, model is what? Model means they are predictive statistical engines that analyze massive amount of the text to predict the most likely next word in a sequence. Right? So if you write some kind of a prompt, suppose if you're writing a prompt in very short manner, so it also understand what exactly you are looking for, what you are saying. It also understand and it gives you the result. So that kind of LLM models are available, which are basically the Chat GPT, Claude, and I will also show you the some of the open LLM models which we can use the locally. Okay, this one. So where we have the Hugging Face, we have a Ollama, we can use that as well. Okay, if you see this computer vision, right? Computer vision is what? We call it as a CV as well. In computer vision, where on the basis of the image, it is going to deliver the things. For an example, if you have seen nowadays on the highway, right? On the highway, the cameras are inbuilt there, right? You have seen the camera, right? So if any of the vehicle is passing through this camera, immediately this camera is going to capture the speed of the vehicle. Yes or no? Speed of the vehicle, right? Automatically it detects the speed of the vehicle. Nowadays, in the organization, you have seen once you enter it, then there is a camera is set up, and once you come in front of the camera, automatically it detect your face, the body temperature, everything it is going to detect it. How? computer vision concept. This is what CV, computer vision, right? If you remember, while the time of the pandemic, right, in the corona time, the government has implemented the one camera through which they were recognizing the people are wearing the mask or not. The people are wearing the mask or not. So if you will come in front of the camera, if on the face, if the mask is there, it will detect, okay, this person has wear the mask. If the mask is not there, immediately it will respond that this person has not wear the mask. This is what? This is a computer vision. Like you have the vision, you have a eyes, right? So through your eyes, you can tell me easily that this person has wear the mask or not. In the same manner, the computer has the eyes also, on which it is going to be trained. That is what? That is a computer vision model. So we train like this one, where we perform these kind of things. We can develop this one. Okay. Now here, the next one. If you see generative AI, so with the Gen AI, what you can do, what you can perform with the Gen AI. So if you see that with the Gen AI, here you can create the text, you can create the images, you can create the audio, video, or any kind of a code, right? So if I say, I just want to create one article, right? I just want to create one article, or I just want to write an email. So what you do in the chat GPT, you says, I just want to write an email to my boss that I will not be available for the next 10 days. So in my absence, my colleague XYZ will take care of that. Suppose something like that professional email, if you want to write it, then you can use this Gen AI models or not, which is a chat GPT or this Claude. You can use that very easily, right? So here, if you see that, we can generate the emails, we can generate the stories in the text. You tell your prompt, it will respond you, right? You can generate the image, logo, any kind of a design, any kind of a audio, video, or if you are a working professional or a programmer, you need the solution, you want the code, something like that, you can also take the help of this Gen AI. So it is going to give you the outcome, right? So Gen AI learns the statistical patterns of a training data, then samples from those patterns to create brand new content, correct, on which it is trained. So I told you about that LLM models, right? So if you see that in the programming, in the Python, in the backend, if you want to write the code, so this kind of a something we can write it, and in the 5 lines we can generate our result. Okay, we can generate our result. Okay, so now if you see that how the Gen AI actually works, trained on billions of the text or the images or the samples, right? Compress the patterns into billions of the parameters. So I told you it is trained on the billions of the parameters. Whatever the text you are going to provide, it's gonna deliver the outcome to you. Then, given a prompt, predict most likely continuation. Prompt is what? The question which you ask from the chat GPT model, in that case, that is basically the prompt, right? If you ask, hey, I want to write one email to my boss that I will not be available from this date to this date, and in my absence, my colleague XYZ will take care of that, and I just want to write an email. So that is what? That is basically the prompt. That is basically the prompt, right? It predicts the most likely. So it will generate the result. And for example, whatever the result is generated, you didn't like that. You want, okay, please provide me this some changes into that. If you want to keep further continuation of your conversation, so you can also do that. You can also do that. So it is basically what? keep continuation into your chat. It is not going to break your chat until you change your prompt. So with the same prompt, you can do the continuation of the chat. Okay, this one. So here you can see creative, here non-deterministic output. So you can work on this kind of a Gen AI models. Okay, Chat GPT, Claude, Anthropic, you can use that one. Okay, these models, Claude, Sonnet 4.6, I will tell you what exactly these are. Okay, so don't worry about this. Like in the Excel, you see the version, right? Excel 2010, 2013, 2016, 2019. These kind of things also, they have their own model, right? So now here, the next one, if you see large language models, okay, the engine inside the GenAI. So it basically work on the token size. Okay, it work on the token size. So token size is what? Token size is basically the limit. It is just like you can say you uh in the some old days, if you just go back, so you have seen that there is a recharge of your cell phone. If you do the recharge of the 100 rupees, you get the 80 SMS. Yes or no? So in the 100 rupees, you can use the 80 SMS only, not more than that. If you want to go beyond that, either go for the above recharge of this 100 rupees, or you have to recharge again. That is the same token size. Token size is basically work on the word, the prompt which you are going to type it, the length of your prompt convert into the token size. Okay, and in the organization, when they purchase the license for this one, then they have to take the decision on these tokens, right? Because it is working on the tokens itself once you just go for the paid one. Okay, so these are what? These, if you see that, we have this embed, okay, token IDs. Then here, the most important thing I just want to show you, you can see 1.8 trillion parameters. It is trained ChatGPT 4. Ollama, 15 trillion plus. Transformer layers, 96. Context window token size, 128K, right? So it is trained on such kind of a massive data. That's why you are able to get the accurate result, right? Otherwise, you will not be able to get the accurate result and you will not like this model, correct? Now here, if you see that Gen AI versus LLM versus Agentic AI, right? So all these things now I'm just gonna tell you, and which is very interesting, which is very interesting. So now till here, anyone has any questions before we move further, then please to let me know.
No, sir, no question.
No? Okay, great. So now I will tell you what exactly the difference in Gen AI, LLM, Agentic AI, all these things we are going to see that. If you see here, into this generative AI, which we call it as a Gen AI. So simple analogy, if I talk about it, basically we use for the creative writer, like you want to generate some, you want to write some blogs, you want to generate some kind of a text, right? Anything, images, audio, video, anything, if you just need to go for. So in that case, you can use this Gen AI. Okay, LLM is what? LLM is basically the model which is trained at the back end. Large language model which are using here. Like you say, I am using the Chat GPT, but Chat GPT has a different LLM models, right? If I say I use the Excel, simply I say I use the Excel. Excel has a different version. Excel has a different version. Yes or no? Correct. So here, the concepts about this Gen AI, LLM, Agentic AI, I will tell you in the more deep manner today itself. So you will understand what exactly the main concept behind this one. But in the summarized way, let me go into that page first of all. See, if I show you the one line summary here, Python is basically I can write the program. That's it. Machine learning is what? Machine learning simply says I can learn from the data. It means you are going to train the machine on the historical data set, on the past data set. So once you give the data to the machine now onwards, it is going to predict the data. It is going to work on the predictions, right? It is going to work on the predictions. So if I talk about this Python, so for the Python, we have a different popular tools. So into this Python here, the tools, if I talk about, you can use the Python, you can use the VS Code, right? You can use the PyCharm, okay? You can use the Jupyter Notebook, okay? Jupyter Notebook, you can use the Google Colab. So there are a different kind of interface or the tools which you can use for writing the Python program, okay? Writing the Python program. If I talk about the machine learning, so for the machine learning, we do not have the tools. We have the libraries. Remember that. We have a libraries. Okay. What we have? We have a library or we call it as a packages. What we have? We have a library or we have a packages. So which kind of a packages? For the machine learning, example, I say NumPy, Pandas. Okay. Then we have the scikit-learn, right? We have the PyTorch. We have the Keras, right? We have the TensorFlow, right? All these things we can just use that into our machine learning, right? We can use all these things into our machine learning, right? Into this generative AI, Gen AI, if I talk about, so in the Gen AI, we have a tools. What are the tools? You can use the GPT, which is an open AI tool, right? You can use the GPT, you can use the Google Gemini. Yes or no? You have heard about that? Google Gemini. You can use Claude. You can use Ollama, right? You can use Hugging Face, right? So all these things you can use it and many more, right? These are what? These are basically the Gen AI, generative AI. If I talk about this agentic AI, so in the agentic AI, what are the tools? Here it comes, LangChain, LangChain, LangSmith, right? LangGraph, LangGraph. Then Crew AI, right? And AutoGen, AutoGen, right? So all these are basically you can use into this agentic AI. Understand the difference. These are the something tools and the packages I told. But what is the difference? Python says I can write the program. In the Python, you write the program, you do the code. In the machine learning, you do the code, but for the machine learning, we have the some packages. If I want to do the some predictions, so for the predictions, what is that? Stats, right? Regression, correlation, coefficient of variance, right? So all these things, for that one, we have the libraries which we use it. So in the machine learning, so for the machine learning, you must have the knowledge about the stats. Gen AI, I can create a new content. By using this model, you can create your new content, right? You can generate image, videos, audios. You can write your emails. You can write your blogs or whatever you are looking for. You can. But agentic AI is what? I can think, plan, use the tools, and complete the goals. Agentic AI, if you see this icon, brain, agentic AI is the capable to take the decision. Okay, to take the decision, because machine learning is what? You told to the machine, hey machine, I will go from A to C. I have to go from the A to C. You have to go to the B and you have to go to the C. So machine will go from A to B, then B to C. But if there is the some decision making part, so machine will not be able to take the decision by its own, because you have not trained on that kind of things, right? So whatever the things you have provided, machine will work on that. But if you think that my machine should work just like a human brain also, it also should be capable to take the decision, right? So I will just go with this agentic AI. So if any necessary actions needs to be taken, so agentic AI has a capability, they can take the decision on that one. Okay. So this is all about one line summary. Okay. So now I'm just going to tell you how we can use this Python GenAI related. Some of the examples, I will also show this to you. Okay. So now let me tell you. So if I just go here, so first of all, I just want to tell you the evaluation of AI. So you should understand the evaluation of the AI. It means how the AI has been generated. It means created, you can say, right? How the AI comes into the market. Everything we are going to talk about this. So now the first thing, if I say, if you see that, which is basically what? If I say Python, the first thing is a Python. In the starting, Gen AI was not there, Agentic AI was not there. The first thing was there what? It was basically the Python. So Python is basically what? If I ask you about this Python, so Python is what? Python is basically a programming language or not? It is a programming language. Correct. Now, after this Python, what is there? After this Python, the next thing is basically the machine learning. This is what? The next thing will come is the machine learning. So, machine learning. So, into this machine learning is what? If I ask you what is machine learning? So, machine learning is basically learn on pattern data, or you can say learns the patterns from data, right? So in the machine learning, what you are going to do? You are going to train your machine. You are going to train your machine on the basis of your historical data set, right? After the machine learning, what comes into the picture? After the machine learning, what comes into the picture? After the machine learning, it will come the deep learning. Deep learning, which we also call it as a DL, or some people also call it as a neural networks. So remember that neural networks. So neural networks are what? Neural networks just like a human brain. Okay, just like a human brain. So first Python. After the Python, there is a machine learning. After the machine learning, there is a deep learning. After the deep learning, what will come? After the deep learning, what will come? After the deep learning, here LLM will come, which is large language model. Large language model, right? Which is LLMs. Okay, this one. After the LLMs, what will come? After the LLMs, Gen AI will come, which is what? Generative AI. So after this, the Gen AI will come into the picture. So after this, Gen AI will come into the picture. So Gen AI is what? Generative AI, which we call it as a Gen AI. And why do we use the Gen AI? What you can do with the help of Gen AI? You can create text, images, code, music, etc., audio, video, and so on, right? So it basically help you in this kind of scenarios. So you can perform all these things with the help of this Gen AI model. Once this Gen AI is there, after that the AI agents will come into the picture. After that, what will happen? AI agents will come into the picture. So after that, AI agents will come. AI agents are what? Simple if I ask you, AI agents is what? AI agents means uses LLM plus memory plus tools plus reasoning. Combination of reasoning. Combination of all these things are basically the part of your AI agents, right? So where your agents are going to perform the things. Okay. After that, what will come? After that, there is a last part, which is basically what? Which is basically known as a agentic AI. Which is what? Which is basically known as a agentic AI. Agentic AI. So into this agentic AI is what? Thinks, plans, acts, observes, then improves. Observe, then improves. Yes or no? This is a capability of the agentic AI or not? So this is what? This is basically the evolution of the AI. This is what? This is basically the evolution of the AI. It is clear. Any doubt till here, anyone? Understood?
Yes,
Getting
yes.
okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. So this is basically the concept, because this concept you should understand, because this is super important. Until you are not clear about this, in which scenario you have to use it, because most of the people, when I say the AI, they simply go for okay, Gen AI or something like that. It's not. Everything you must be aware from, then only you will be able to understand what is a machine learning. Most of the people think about this machine learning is completely the part of the AI. No, it's not like that. Okay, this one. Now, if I just tell you in more insights about this one. So if somebody asks about this Python, so into this Python, what you are going to do? You are going to perform the some coding. On the basis of coding, it is going to give you the result. Correct? Example, if I given you the task. Example, if I given you the task, what you have to do? The task is simple. On the employee data, you have to write the some Python code to calculate the salary. So what you will do? You will take the employee data, you will write the some code, and you will go for the salary report, right? You write every rule. On the basis of that, it is going to perform. But if I go for the machine learning concept, so machine learning is what? If I give you the task that you have to predict whether an employee will leave the company or not, whether will employee will leave the company or not, that is some kind of a predictions you do. Yes or no? So predictions you will do on the basis of what? On the basis of the some historical data. Correct? So you will go the historical employee data, right? For an example, suppose you are going to hire a person. In the resume, you got the two resume. In the one resume, you have seen one person is changing the job after the 6 month. After the 6 month, that person is changing job very frequently. But there is another person who is having the more stability in the organization. This person has worked so far in the 10 years of experience. Both people has the 10 years of experience. Okay. But the first person in the 10 years are changing the job after the 6 month or after the 1 year. But the second person is changing the job after the 4 years or the 5 years. So now tell me which person has the chances to stay into the organization longer? The second person or not? Second person or not? Clear? How you have identified? Identified on the basis of this data. Which data? That the first person is changing the job after the 6 month or the 1 year. So there are the chances this person will not stay with a long time with the organization. This person can leave the job anytime. But if you have the more stability, like the second person, the 4 years or the 6 years, so there is a chance this person is going to stay with the organization much longer. Yes or no? So company will prefer which candidate? This second candidate. So this is something what? This is something you have done the prediction. Yes or no? Prediction on what? Prediction on the data which is mentioned into the resume. So you have seen the data, the historical data you have seen or not? On the basis of that, you have taken the decision. Agree, understood everyone, right? So this is basically what? This is a concept of the machine learning. So here what you will do on historical employee data, you will do the some machine learning model, you will create it will generate the some predictions. So if I give you a data set where you have the employee name, you have the tenure for them into the each and every organization, and if I ask you predict whether an employee will leave the company or it will stay with a long time with the company. So on the basis of that historical data, you will be able to give me the answer. That is what? That is a ML part, machine learning part, right? Then here we have a deep learning, right? We have a deep learning, we have a Gen AI, right? So what is that? If I talk about this Gen AI related things, example, if I ask you, I want to write an appraisal email, what you will do? Immediately you will go into the chat GPT and you will say, you will give the some prompt. I want to congratulate to my employee for a good work. So I want to write one appraisal email, right? Appreciate. I just want to appreciate to him or her. So you will write the prompt. It will go into the LLM. LLM. Which LLM? It will go into what? Which LLM? Chat GPT, Gemini, Google Gemini, right? Claude. These are what? These are the LLM models. So they will just build the new content for you. They will generate the email for you. You can copy that. If there are some tweaks you want to make it, you can do that and you can utilize that. Correct? So this is what? This is basically the Gen AI. If I talk about this agentic AI is what? For an example, if I say you have a task to onboard a new employee, okay, listen this. You have a task to onboard a new employee. So, for example, there is a person, John Smith. Okay, so John Smith is basically the new employee. For that, you just need to go for the onboarding process. Okay, so you have to build one model which should work on the onboarding process. So, onboarding process is what? In the onboarding of this John Smith, first it should create the new email, right? It should automatically schedule the orientations, right? It should automatically create the user's account. It should automatically update into the HR system. It will generate the welcome kit. It will generate the notifies IT team and task get completed. Everything should get generated in the sequence without any manual interventions. So automatically it is going to take the decision or not. One step has been completed, then it will jump into the next step, right? So this is the part of what? This is the part of this agentic AI. Understood? It is clear? Any doubt? Okay. So this is basically the complete flow. Okay. Now I'm just gonna show you the some of the examples so you will understand very easily, and then you will see the power of the Python. Okay. Nowadays, the Python is basically high in the demand. Why? It's not only about the Python. Python, I told you, it is basically the start point. Python is what? Python is basically the start point. Got the point? It is what? It is a start point. But after that, you go into the next step, and then you will read to the agentic AI. Directly, you cannot jump. If you say, sir, can I directly go for this generative AI course or agentic AI course? Answer is no. Answer is no. You must have the knowledge about all these concepts. First, your Python fundamentals must be strong. Until that is not strong, I would not suggest to go for any of the course. So it is basically in the sequence, right? It is basically the process to learn this complete Gen AI, agentic AI, right? Start with a Python, machine learning, deep learning, LLM, Gen AI, then go for the agents, RAG applications we just created. So what is a RAG and everything? Retrieval generation augmentations, right? So what is a RAG and all? So that's the thing are there. Okay. So all these things you must be aware from what is a RAG, why do we use the RAG, right? Because RAG, if I talk about, so you guys have heard about this word, RAG, retrieval augmentations, generations, right? RAG applications. So in the real scenario, we build that RAG applications. Okay. So it is very wide topic. So we will discuss later on this. But here I'm just gonna show you some examples so you will understand what is the power of this. For an example, let's take an example. I ask you, you have to build one chat model. Okay. You have to build one chat model. So if you have to build one chat model, so you should have the LLM. First of all, tell me, once you just go for the chat something, so there are the two things involved or not? One, user. Second is what? Machine or the model. Yes or no? Two things involved, na? This is a conversation between these two things or not? User and model. So example, you go for the chat GPT, you write your question, you are the user, you are writing the prompt. Chat GPT, the response which Chat GPT is giving to you, that is what? That is a system generated response or the model generated response, right? So if you want to use the model locally into your system, because the Chat GPT which you are going to use, that the server is placed into their areas, right? They have placed the server. So you put the query here, it hit into the server of the chat GPT. From there, it takes the response and it gives you back. But if you want to work locally, so we have this Ollama, we have the Hugging Face. Like if I show you this Ollama here, so you can see these are the models: Kimi, IFM, North Mini Code, Nematron, Gamma 4, right? Quinn. All these are the models. If you see that here, if I open this GLM, for example, This model is trained on what? 656 billion parameters. You can see that. 656 billion parameters, right? If you see some other models, if I go back, if I go for this Minimax, so here Minimax is not showing what here. It is basically the token based, it is created. And here you can see 1 million contexts here. So here you will be able to see this model is trained on how many parameters. Can you see? Look, give me 2.7, 1.04 trillion parameters. Understood? This one, trillion parameters. So you can understand how accurate result it is going to give you. Okay. So for an example, if if you just want to use any of the models, so some are the paid, some are the free. You can search here that here I say free models. Example. So you can see these are the free. DeepSeek, you can use Cogito, you can use Gamma 4, right? Quinn, you can use that. So what you have to do, you can just open that CMD command. And here, first of all, you have to install the Ollama. So you have to download this, then you can perform into the CMD command. If you have not installed it, you cannot. So if you see that I'm just using Ollama list. So I have installed the some Ollama models, right? So it will tell me which models I have installed. So if you see that I have used this Quen, which is having the 6 billion parameters, Gamma 3, 270 millions parameters. So if I want to use this one, either the Gamma or the Quen, so I can use that example. I say Ollama Quen, and the same thing you have to provide Ollama run. And then here I say Quen 3 colon 0.6p. Now, if I this, see, okay, spell error, na? Olam I have written, not Ollama. So here, Ollama. Okay. Now, if you run this here, now you can see it is started running in my system. It is locally, right? See, it is started. If I say hello, look, now it will generate the response. See, right? Look, it is generating in the backend, right? See, and now this is the response. So I have written this hello. So it takes some time to think. It go into the model and it is searching if the somebody will say hello to me, how I have to respond to the users. Got the point? See, it says hello, how I can assist you today. Yes or no? Correct. It is responding. If I ask the question, what is the Gen AI? And question mark. See, now it is started thinking. User has asked what is a Gen AI. Now it is searching into the model for the best answer. So it is telling you what it is thinking. And now here you can see it is started generating the output for you. Can you see that? Look, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence designed to create new content and so on and so forth. Yes or no? Got the point? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Understood, sir.
this is something I am just working on the CMD command. But as you open the chat GPT on the browser and you type the query there. So if this kind of a things you are looking for, how I can do that? Let me show this to you. So here I have just built one application here, which is this app. So now let me open that. So I'm just opening that into VS Code, open the file. And here I have this app. Okay. This is my local chatbot. So I have just created, don't worry about this one, what I have written. Just understand, because these things you have to understand what is the Streamlit library, where you have to use it, how I have just given the space, title, images, this if concepts and everything. These are basically the things, for this one, you have to start from the basic, but I'm telling you how it runs actually. So now here, I'm just gonna open a new terminal. So now here, I'm just gonna copy this path. And now here, I'm just moving into that library, CD. Now I just want to run this. I say Streamlit run. And what is the name of my Python file app.py, app.py. Now if I press the, okay, see, is Streamlit, stream, see, this is a spell error. Can you see is Streamlit? This is the error I have given. Is Streamlit run app.py. Once I hit on that, now it is running. It will open into the browser. Okay, if you see that, it's gonna open into the browser itself. Okay, see, it's got open, right? One second. Yeah. So now you can see this is the chatbot which I have built, right? So you can see the name and everything. And here I can ask the question. The interface is the similar, just like a chat GPT or not? Here, if I say hello, look, now it will respond me, right? Here in the right hand side on the top, you can see it is running, right? Can you see hello? How can I help you today? Yes or no? If I say, what is the Gen AI and Agentic AI? If I run this, now you can see it is keep running. Yes or no? Can you see that? It given you this answer or not?
Yeah.
You have built your own model, correct? You can use that. So this is something which I have created. This is what? This is a bot. So what I have done, one, this is an interface on the basis of the browser related things. I have used this one. So where I have used this library is Streamlit, right? Streamlit I have used. Now, whatever the query I'm just gonna use, this query I'm sending to my LLM model. Which LLM model? I'm just using this Ollama. In this Ollama, which model? I'm just using this Quinn, which I installed into my system, right? And here, if you see that in the programming also, I have given this one. If I go here, I'm just telling this one which model it's supposed to go for. So here you can see this is an interface I have just created, right? And here, see, it says, ask me anything. And look, this is my model name, which I'm telling, right? Gamma 3. Here I can change Quinn model also. So which model needs to be hit, right? So all these things I have just given over here. Understood the power of this? Why there is a lot of the opening for this Python, GenAI, Agentic AI nowadays? Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you can see, ask any question, right? It will give you the proper answer on that. So this is one of the example I told you. Second example, I just want to show this to you, another example. Another example is very beneficial for any of the organization. Okay, let me tell you. So here, if I just go for the another example, so that is what? That is basically, if I say that is resume analyzer. For the resume analyzer, tell me one thing. If if I have just given you the some of the resume and I say I'm just looking for these kind of skills, if that skills is matching, I want to hire that person. So do you have a such kind of a tools, resume analyzer, which can analyze the resume perfectly? No, right? You can build it. You can build it. This is a real scenario thing I'm telling you guys. So here I have just built that model. Let me show this to you. Here, resume analyzer. Okay, so I'm just gonna show this to you how it will look like. See, lot of the things I have just written over here. Don't worry about that. Just understand this one. I'm just gonna open this new terminal and I'm just gonna take the path of the folder, this one. CD, I'm just entering into that directory, stream lit run, and what is the name? AI resume analyzer, right? So same spelling, AI resume analyzer, or I can simply copy the name from here instead, which is this one. Okay, I can simply paste it here. Here resume analyzer dot py. Once I hit on this, it's gonna open in the browser also. See, my application is running and it is getting loaded. Okay, can you see that? Look, it is asking what? It says, boss, please upload the resume, paste the job description, click on the analyze resume, right? If I click on the upload button and I am just uploading one resume example, I say I have the some profiles over here. Okay, so example, I'm just opening the one of the CV here, so you will understand this. Example, I'm just opening one CV here. I say this one for the Emily Watson. If you see that Emily has these many skills, Python, Kubernetes, and so on. For example, I select the CV for this and I say, paste job description. I am looking for the person with below skills. Suppose I'm just looking for SQL, I am looking for Python, I am looking for Kubernetes, right? Something like that. If I click on this, analyze resume, see what skills are matching, which skills is matching only. This one or not? Kubernetes. Spell is some error in Kubernetes. That's why it is not giving you. Yes or no? If I type AWS, if I go here, 66.67 out of 5 skills, 2 are matching AWS and the Python. It is giving you or not? Here you can see the CV of that person. Yes or no? You can upload any of the profile here, guys. Any of the profile, right? If I just upload any other profile, for example, for this Sara Patel, right? If I click on this, how many skills are matching only? This one. This person has some other skills. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Correct. If I just go for some other profile, example, suppose I say this RPA developer. Okay, for this RPA developer, I'm just looking for this SQL, Python. Let's see. Look, this person has these skills. Yes or no? What I'm just looking for, these two skills this person has, right? So you can see this person is a excellent match, right? And here you can see the summary from the resume. Yes or no? The resume, it will extract. This is one of the real things I'm telling you. And these kind of things the company is expecting from you. Got the point, everyone? So now I hope you understood that what exactly the concepts do we have for this Gen AI related agentic AI, how you can create your own model and so on. Okay, any doubt, any query, if you have, then please do let me know. How's these examples, guys?
मेरे को तो मैं good sir good very interested.
Fantastic.
Right? So these kind of applications you guys can also build. Okay, for this one, you should have the knowledge about this programming skills, right? And honestly, trust me, nowadays, company are looking for these kind of people who are having the knowledge about this one. Okay, and now the complete era is completely related to this one only. Python, machine learning, all these things the companies are basically the looking for. If you have these kind of skills, you can survive very easily into the market. Okay. Okay. Great. So now you can just read this concept, what is a Gen AI, what is a Agentic AI, and so on. If you want to read in much more details, then you can also go for that and you can understand this one. It is clear, everyone?
Yes.
Okay,
Clear.
great. Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this workshop. And I hope you liked it. You have given your time. So I hope uh, the time was valid and you just liked this workshop completely. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anup sir,
Okay.
giving
Yeah.
us such a thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.